everybody. I wanted to talk a little bit today about creating. Creating has become such an essential part of my life, and I think it was also a major part of my life when I was a child, creating imaginary worlds and creating art, creating stories, and not really having an inner sense that I was creating necessarily for somebody else. There was a sense that I was creating for myself, to bring myself pleasure, joy, a sense of self, to contribute to a development of how I understood myself to be. But as I got older, my reasons for creating really shifted. Marking when that happened for me isn't, black and white, cut and dry, but it absolutely happened. Until when I was an adult, I found myself really creating for the purpose of serving others' expectations of me, and to try to please others. This really caused my creations to contribute to a display of performativity, where I felt like I was always performing for other people, and what I created was no longer mine. I would look to others to approve of my creations, to tell me their thoughts about what I would create, whether it was stories or essays, my body, really anything at all, was no longer in the realm of serving me. It was being created as a way to serve others so that I could feel good about myself or bad about myself, which sometimes was a desire as well. Recently, I've been thinking about the function of creation, and it doesn't seem any less important. It seems more important. But to understand how to create in a way that serves yourself versus creating in a way that serves others is pretty complicated. In my career, for example, when I ask students what a function is of why they're writing or what a purpose is, almost always students are apt to say, well, the function of what I'm writing is to meet your expectations according to the prompt, or the purpose of why I'm writing is to satisfy the rubric. And it doesn't go much beyond that. And I started to think about why that might be, and whether or not that's a positive thing or a negative thing. Having some sense of how your creation can please others, I think, is generally a positive thing, as long as there is a motivational drive behind that purpose to please others or to satisfy something that's external, that's driven by a desire to meet your own inner expectations and to satisfy yourself, to bring pleasure to yourself and a sense of goodness that serves you, that comes from your creation. As long as that's in place, I don't think necessarily that creating to please others is necessarily a bad thing. But I do think that in today's society, there's been a lost connection with the drive to create in order to please oneself. And there's a question that comes along with it too, and that should those two drives be separate? Or can we bring those drives together to work for the higher good of our development of self and our personal evolution? Creation is so important, but when you have some stakes about what that creation means to you, that then becomes untouchable. So for example, if I'm writing a novel, a chapter in a novel, and I'm feeling certain emotions or sensations while I'm writing it that really serve me, they help me dig deeper into what I'm dealing with or understand a facet of lived experience in a different way from a different perspective, then that's serving me. That's serving my higher consciousness. It's serving my personal evolution, my journey. If I give that chapter to my husband to read and he critiques it, he says, well, I like X, but I don't really like Y. Hopefully I've tucked away the stakes of my personal purpose in that creation so that his criticism I can actually take in a constructive way rather than thinking that it's undoing who I am, right? And I'm seeing so much more of this, especially in my career, but seriously also in my own life, where criticism will come and I'll take it as a personal blow that will knock me down and make me hesitant to create at all for myself. And that's a problem, because creation is the foundation of a good life, in my opinion. So understanding the drive that drives you and keeping the stakes of that creation within you as you put your creations out into the world seems to be a good direction to move into as you continue your personal journey, so that you can foster creation in a healthy way. I'd love to know your thoughts about your creative processes, how you create, what your purpose is for your creations, and how you preserve some of the energy of that creation for yourself and take it for yourself. Thanks for watching.